Good evening and welcome to SFLiberalBuzz. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. We are here to talk about Cannabis 5% Coalition, or the Compassionate Coalition to give away cannabis to those who cannot afford it. And that's practically everybody that is poor, because it's $40 a day for most people, isn't it? About 40 bucks a day?
It depends on where you go.
And it could be a lot more if you're fighting cancer and you need the oil. But actually a full treatment of the oil is like, they estimated $1,600 compared to how much for one chemotherapy treatment. So, and it might be effective. They're finding out they're having good results. So cannabis is a good medicine. It's far less harmful than pharmaceuticals. But unfortunately, many people have to take pharmaceuticals because they're unable to afford cannabis.
That's why Denise and I are both members of PCUP. Patients for Compassionate Use Policy.
Oh, that's a good abbreviation.
We are your PCUP.
Thank you for the abbreviation. That's great. And see, and we are constantly, we're poor people helping poor people, and we're constantly, the rich people kind of might not like us. They want, because we want them to give away pot, basically 5% of it. We're asking, Berkeley gives away what, 2%?
1%.
Oh, is it 1 now? It was 2.
1%.
It was, well, less than 5%. We're asking for 5 because we have more poor patients in San Francisco. Per capita. In the Tenderloin, we have a high density of disabled people who are between ages of 50 and 80 that are, all you have to do is go through the Tenderloin and see how many people are in wheelchairs and on crutches. And we don't even have a dispensary in the Tenderloin. One on the edge, maybe. They closed all of them. So we're having trouble with safe access, too. So anyway, patients are being left behind because mainly in government, they want to talk about how the the profiteers can actually get ahead, and they leave the patients behind. A good example of that is the Medical Cannabis Task Force, where we had the industry and sitting next to patients, and the patients should have been dealing with the health department while the industry dealt with the Board of Equalization and the tax board.
As you guys can know, we assume and tell that we are all for patients' access.
Yes.
Like last week I talked about a reporter by the name of Mike Sugarman who tested, went to different MCDs and tested patients' products and found out that patients are not getting what they're supposed to get, or getting what they think they're getting. Like, thank you, Mr. Sugarman, for this report. It's very important that patients know what they are taking.
It is. And that's a quality control issue, and the health department could
Unfortunately,
deal with that.
California does not have regulations like Colorado and Washington does.
And some of their regulations are good, and some are...
The way Colorado states with the regulations when it comes to medicinal, marijuana, they make sure they're tested. They have the right amount that's labeled, because they can get fined if they actually say an edible has 100 milligrams and it's tested as 3 milligrams. They can get fined for that.
That's a stringent regulation, and I'm not against that. The one thing I've heard, there's been rumors about Colorado actually doing away with medical cannabis altogether, so we'll see what happens with that. So there's an article in my Twitter somewhere. So I want to get you to get on with your Twitter, and hopefully
okay, fine.
Take up too much time.
Here. Okay, what we have here, first of all, I've got an important message to everybody. If you are homeless, you know somebody who's homeless, please tell someone there's free showers and laundry services available. All you have to do is call 311 from any phone. That's very important. There are showers and laundry. So if you know anybody who is homeless, or you see somebody who's homeless, let them know. There's help, okay? Very important news that Orion testified today. Scrub for some idiot decided to take his boat in the water to wash the launch, and that's one of the reasons why it got scrubbed. It's very important for future of mankind. Of course, my name happens to be on this microchip. And yes, I love cats. I like cats. Of course, hey, tail is broken. My food. Bit strips, kind of funny. Hey, humor.
I love kitties too.
And a little Christmas thing. Hey, if angel's on top of your tree, covering his eyes, run. Don't blink. Run. Any Whovians actually know that reference? Yesterday there was a protest in New York City, and Fox News was unjustifiably wrong in a comment that a reporter made. She said, quote, "Hope nothing happens in New York City. We got that tree lighting ceremony." People want to protest, and they're worried about a tree. But of course, I have to say this: stay away from the kids who are attending the tree lighting in New York. We don't need idiots on TV again like we had in San Francisco. If you're unaware of what happened in San Francisco, the people tried to protest a tree lighting ceremony at Union Square. The cop said, "Hey, you can protest there, but not inside the square." People got mad and started to break windows and glass and become idiots. The police were allowing people to protest and expand their First Amendment rights, but they didn't listen. And what we're talking about right here is sign a petition and tell Mayor Lee the MCD should be required by law to get patients 5% compassion. SFLiberalBuzz.org may not believe in everything this person says, but they are on the right idea and the right track. Like we stated before, San Francisco needs a 5% compassion program for all MCDs.
And we'll just be that's a coalition. We just have to have people of like mind get together.
Exactly, and this right here is giant news. So we're going to go to Denise's Twitter page.
All right, mine won't be long. I just wanted to say that marijuana doesn't lower IQ except in the media.
Huh?
Yep. They're cannabis.
So is that why Dennis Leary is like that on Fox News?
Oh, they're all against pot, the way that you hear them on about it, but you know that they used to smoke it. Let's talk about federal marijuana legalization, because the feds are actually talking about it seriously for legalizing it countrywide. So, and is today's marijuana really stronger? Well, actually, if you want to be sleepy, it's stronger, but it's not more psychoactive than it was in the 60s and 70s. They just blended it with an Eastern blend, which is sweeter buds that are sleepy with more spicy buds that are awake and smaller.
Did you know that the main strain of the cannabis plants is indica? The sativa is a genetic mutation of the indica plants.
I would doubt it.
All marijuana-based plants are indica-based.
And then a joint hearing bill to make marijuana legal and regulate it like alcohol. So I really am against regulating cannabis like alcohol, and let me tell you why. Alcohol is a toxic substance that kills, and it needs different regulation. I do have a phone call, and it's going to be my guest.
Hopefully. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Denise, it's Shona.
Hi,
Welcome
Shona
to
Gockenheimer. Shona Gockenheimer. Sorry.
Gockenauer, but that's okay.
How's it going tonight, Shona?
It's going all right. It's going all right. It's an exciting night with the veterans bill going on in Congress. I don't know if you guys briefed people on that at all.
Not yet. Is this the one where it's going to be a federal regulation where veterans doctors can prescribe now?
Yes, it's been entered as a standalone bill to have the Veterans Administration be able to recommend medical cannabis in medical cannabis states, which is giving licensure to federally employed medical professionals to make this recommendation, which in a way is also signaling that medical use is valid.
So it's validating what we've known all. They're just willing to admit it and drop the lies and help people finally. Is that what actually is going on? And do you think that this bill will pass with the new Congress?
You know, that's something that people have been discussing in the background today, even over here at the Access to Love Clubhouse, is are we going to get it through a Republican Congress? And, you know, it's interesting because a lot of other veterans' issues didn't fare very well with the Republicans, but since this is also a states' rights issue, it'll be interesting to see, but nonetheless, Access of Love, who's had a veterans group now for over a decade, is going to be releasing a press release on Monday urging everyone to call Congress, call your representatives, and vote in favor of this, because we know that for people with post-traumatic stress, often a lot of the psych meds actually make it worse. And one of the only things that our veterans say help relieve them, give them a sense of being wellness and able to sleep at night and therefore function during the day is medical cannabis, and it doesn't have any of the toxicity and the side effects that they don't want. So I think for people that have signed up to serve and protect, you know, things that the Republicans claim they hold so sacred, I surely hope we will easily pass this through the Congress and the Senate.
You know, there is a Republican currently in office right now. His name is Senator John McCain, who happens to be a veteran himself and highly advocated the vets program in Arizona. So
he does, and cannabis. He's retweeted my tweets about cannabis.
Yeah,
he may be an ally.
Is, you know, the funny thing is I'm distantly related to him. It's really bizarre, but you know, he's not a Sarah Palin. You know, he's not a complete right-wing idiot.
I know, he's never said I can see Mexico from my backyard.
And I think he knows that this is good for people.
What's motivating the government to all of a sudden want to legalize it? Is it greed? Is it
greed? And the local level is absolutely greed. And I think that we're going through a transition on the federal level and on the state level of not looking at small, petty amounts of any sort of substance that's been deemed illegal as a reason to incarcerate people for years. So with that paradigm shift, there's a lot that's going on in social justice realms, and then you have all of these new sort of Wall Street folks that all of a sudden want to cash in on cannabis that have political influence. And while that might be good, we also have to safeguard our movement, our patient movement, and make sure that the patients get the high-quality medical cannabis that they need, and that not just, you know, the rich and the entrepreneur being able to corner a market.
Exactly. You mentioned the incarceration. I definitely have to say that there needs to be something written into the legislation, unlike what Colorado did. When they legalized recreational marijuana, they still have about 1,500 to 1,700 people incarcerated for low possession terms. This was never written into their Colorado legislation. Do you know if anything is written into this about the federal legislation?
About veterans that have been incarcerated?
Yeah, veterans or people who have actually been incarcerated for small possessions or actually medicating without a license.
So I know that this bill is just focused on the physicians that are employed by the Veterans Administration to be able to recommend medical cannabis openly to people suffering from PTSD. So that's all this bill is really encompassing. I know that in other states, and in California with the passage of 47, we have several people walking out of jail. And it really frustrates me when the sort of radical right or the conservatives want to take such a big crap on President Obama. More people have gained freedom and access to health care in the short term than have ever had that since this country was taken from its rightful tribal ownership. So, you know, a lot has changed. A lot more needs to change, but a lot is changing for the better, and the knowledge that the people that we really need to have in jail are the people that are violent towards other people.
Exactly, I totally agree with you on this.
What would empower patients, Shona, in this realm?
Well, I think in the realm of holding to the need for people to have a healthcare consciousness about compassionate care for low-income patients and
on a legislative
veterans and et cetera, is really getting the patient movement back in line in San Francisco. We've really had a balkanization of the cannabis clubs. we have people that are really doing absolutely nothing other than selling medicine.
And opening second
which
locations.
is fine, you know, but when you go and cross that line and try to dismantle it.
Your signal is breaking up for a second, Shona. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, your signal was breaking up there for a second.
I kicked the wire into it.
And there's a little feedback, so... Okay, can you try again?
Oh, you're
Okay,
cool.
well, I think
You sound all right.
the main points of empowerment for patients is bringing it back into our hands, getting up to San Francisco City Hall, and really saying that the city needs to look at if the Safe Access program is serving the patients that need it the most.
And working with the supervisors, or with petitions, or urging people to email and, you know, email
Go
slam,
to City
phone
Hall.
slam,
Every supervisor has an open office.
and talk to them, make appointments, or, yeah.
I think what's really needed is for people to get those emails in, but also I think what's needed is calls to the health department, and we're going to put out an activist alert for this. And there's nothing wrong with a cannabis businessman. There's nothing wrong with having a Target-like store for cannabis. But what's wrong is when you start invading and trying to dismantle the community-based organizations like Access of Love, like Divinity Tree, like Sanctuary, like Vapor Room, like HopeNet, like ACT UP.
Like the 99% of us.
Community-based provider that was targeted in the last round of the crackdown. We need to get those folks back on the map.
That's why I want to remind everybody, as well as you, Shona, that this Friday at 1:30 p.m., Supervisor Jane Kim has her open office hours. So anybody in the Tenderloin, Selma, District 6 who's listening or watching can show up to Supervisor Kim's office and let them know, it's like, hey, we need access in our neighborhood.
Right, and just because there's stores that cater to people that can walk in and purchase doesn't mean that that meets everybody's need. We need to think about everybody's need, especially in District 6, where we still have the largest population of people living with disabilities below the poverty line. To not be serving people that, you know, need it the most is not going towards the city's policy statements and directions of medical cannabis. So hopefully we can correct the course, and I'm looking forward to working on that this year for patients.
Yeah, we don't want...
Thank you.
Yeah, because we don't want a cartel atmosphere.
I'm going to let you guys go because I got to run and go pay my rent.
All right, good luck with that.
Okay, Shona, thank you for calling in.
All right, thank you. Yeah,
And if anybody is a friend with Shona on Facebook, her name is spelled S-H-O-N-A. Last name is spelled G-O-C-H-E-N-A-U-R.
And you can follow her on Twitter at Axis of Love SF.
And the complete legislation or the information for the veterans prescribing is on her Facebook page.
Yeah, she's got Facebook and Twitter, and our office is at 1260 Mission Street. We're at 1260 Mission Street. And the phone number is 415-248-5247 if you want to get in touch with us. And you can also tweet me at SFLiberalBuzz. Give us a follow and we'll follow you back.
Yeah,
now,
so this is right down here. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to...
Here's Denise right here.
Yeah.
And here's mine way over here.
Yeah, and you had some good tweets this week.
Unfortunately, I only decided to use Facebook the last couple of weeks instead of Twitter, so...
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Well, I might have had one or two more. Now, that was before the election, so I'm not going to go into that. But I really, like I said, I don't want to see cannabis regulated like alcohol. I really think that's the wrong way to go about it. And today's marijuana really isn't stronger, and it doesn't lower your IQ, except in the media. So let's say,
Like I said,
that's it. And this is what all the things it does: treats glaucoma, ADD, ADHD. Let's see, we got that. Prevents Alzheimer's. Does quite a number of things, so I'm reading them out. Thanks for switching that.
Oh, you're welcome. People should at least be visually aware of what's going on here.
Well, they should see
too.
Well, there was a pretty picture for them to look at.
If you're visually able to see this, I would like people to see this.
Most of the that's about the only picture I've got left. Now, legal marijuana in Oregon. we've got that and Alaska, so that was back from, I didn't read any of this because during the election I was going through a lot of other things. The lizard brain stems have only two thoughts: what is it and can I eat it? So that kind of correlates to this cannabis movement we just talked about, so that kind of sums it up pretty well. So we've got 2 minutes left. And the big pharma
there's a 2-minute warning.
Big pharma is concerned about their bottom line, and so they manufacture health risks associated with cannabis. So that's not surprising, is it? And so, let's see, Spain study confirms cannabis oil cures cancer without side effects. Now, there's a few other studies along with that, and I think I might have gotten most of the ones up here. Alcohol and tobacco deny interest in manufacturing marijuana products, and they really are quite keen to get their cloven hoofs on the profits. So that's a High Times article I highly recommend. Medical marijuana to become prosecution-proof. Beware of cannabis libertarians and oligarchs, a.k.a. Rand Paul. That's when you click on this, you'll see his smiling face and his little curly red hair. And America creates consumers, not citizens. And will there be a mayor's race in 2015? Well, Mark Leno's out of the race, so well, run, Tom, run. That's all I can say. And the cannabis industry, 1% vultures buy San Francisco officials and force patients to take toxic meds so they can make money off the herbs, and progressives really don't seem to care. So we've got to build coalitions among progressives, because if we don't, anyway, we're toast. So let's make some last minute announcements. We've got
buy a street sheet.
A street sheet, adopt a shelter pet, and donate to bayvac.org. We could, they do a lot of great things over here.
And if you know anybody in San Jose, help bring back the jungle, because people need help and housing.
Yes, and the techies that came from there could actually do a lot to help them too. In San Francisco, they want to help us, so.
Good night.
Thanks for watching.